Hi there! In this video, I'll be reviewing these 5 new watches from Markwell Watches. These are 5 colors of their new Hard Candy Enamel Dial series, and I was loaned these by the company. These are pre-production samples that do have slightly different handsets than what will appear on the production models, but these are fairly representative of what these watches are. So moving from right to left, we have 5 new watches that have enamel dials. These are fume style enamel dials, so we have a color gradient going from dark to lighter. We have black cherry here, so black on the outside, red in the middle. Very stunning looking. We have blue raspberry here, or blue raz. This one goes from a dark blue to a light blue. This one might be my favorite color. I just really do dig how it looks. We have the green apple, again, dark green to light green with that fume dial. We have the grape jelly, which goes from a very, very dark purple into a lighter purple. And then we have the lemon drop. And this one here is a little unfortunate. I really do enjoy a nice yellow dial watch, but with the fume dial on this, it's hard to see the gradient. At some colors, you can see that it's a fair bit darker on the edges, but just with how yellow is as a color, it kind of looks more white in certain lights. But they all are fantastic looking watches. These heavily draw inspiration from the previous model of watch that Markwell made, the Datematic. The case, the crystal, and a lot of the dimensions are the same. You can find those dimensions up here at the top of the video. Those are dimensions I measure with my calipers. We have 100 meters of water resistance and a very, very wearable, like 37 millimeter case. And for me, even with 7.5-inch wrists, I find that it wears pretty well. I'll roll in some footage here, but out in the sunlight, these wear great and they look fantastic too. If you choose to buy one of these watches, it'll come on one of these FKM rubber straps. I do have a gripe with these straps. I don't think that they taper enough. There are 20 millimeter lugs at the tip. Then as we work our way down, it really only tapers down to like 19, maybe 18.5, depending on where you measure. It's very comfortable, but that lack of taper makes this watch wear bigger than it should. I have a couple of leather straps here, but I'm just going to highlight the green one from the Datematic. I like the taper a whole lot more on this. It's hard to see it in the video, but it does taper quite a bit compared to the rubber straps here. But for me and for a lot of other folks, I think some more taper would be nicer. But since we have 20 millimeter lugs, you can throw whatever you want to on there. John loaned me a couple of these that have the stretchy bracelets, like such. And these aren't available for sale yet on the website, but he's trying to get this going there. They're color matched to the dials, which I think is really quite a cute thing. And a lot of people don't like these. I do. I will say that these are a little bit tight, but as time goes on, they open up a little bit. Very comfy, and this is really just one of those watches that's fun. There's a lot of watches out there that try to be serious, and these hard candy enamel dial ones really aren't that. Obviously, they're well made and they use quality components, but they're rather unserious, and I like to see that. So what's powering this watch? These are all powered by the Miyota 9039 movement. Rather than using the Sellita SW200 that was in the previous model of Datematic, they switched over to a Japanese movement. What that means is that there's a little bit less cost on their end, which is cost that then does not get transferred to you as the buyer. And what I like there is that these are $150 less expensive than the Datematic. I don't think the Datematic was overpriced at $730, but that is a good chunk of change. These are $579, so they're like $150 cheaper. For that price, I think it's an awesome watch. We have a good movement that has no date position, so when we're doing this here, we can actually pull out our crown, and it just goes right to setting the time. Rather than having a ghost position like a lot of companies will do when they use a Miyota 9015 or an NH35 from Seiko, we don't have to worry about that. We can hand wind here when the crown's pushed in, and we have 100 meters of water resistance, which I think is important, not that you're going to go diving with it, but this is one of those watches where I want to wear it to a lake or to a pool or to the beach. These are just really, really fun. So we have a very wearable spring or summer watch. I would be happy wearing this in like a button-up shirt to a summer wedding. I think it'd be a ton of fun. But we also have a quality that I really do dig on these watches, and that is better lume. So if we look here at our indices, they're big block indices, and they are all lume filled. I'll roll in some footage here of blasting these watches with some UV light. I will say that the lume doesn't last for too long, but since this isn't like a dive watch or a utility watch, this is like an everyday watch, I'm fine with these having an hour or two of lume, because it is very, very helpful to have that. Now, talking color, I think that for me, the blue raz here on the white strap is probably my favorite, with the grape one being number 2. I've always been a fan of the color purple. If you ever see me in public and I'm wearing gym clothing, my fanny packs are usually purple. One part because it's kind of blending in better, but also I just dig the color. I think it's a fun color, and these two really do steal my attention. Doesn't mean that I don't like the other 3, it's just that these 2 are the ones that I'm really gravitating towards. Do I have any gripes with these watches? Well, I really only have 2. And one of these gripes really isn't much of a gripe as much as a personal preference. So the first thing I've already mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of the strap not really tapering very much. I would like to see more taper. That's a simple enough fix though. You can always replace the strap if you want to. And they are comfy, it's just that it makes the watch wear kind of big. My bigger gripe, which again, full personal preference here, is that these don't have a date complication. Now I know for a lot of folks, they don't care about a date complication, especially on a fun watch they might be wearing to an event or to the summer or something. But for me, as an everyday timepiece, I need to have the date complication. This is not a detractor for me in the sense of like, oh, I won't recommend it. I super recommend these watches. They're really, really, really fun. However, without having a date complication, I don't know if I would buy one for myself. I'd certainly buy one of these for my girlfriend. If I have any friends, which, I mean, I got some friends, but if I have any friends that are looking for a fun watch and they don't care about having a date, oh, I would recommend these in a heartbeat. We've also had a ton of good relations with these watches and people out in public. And what I say by that is that I host a couple of watch meetups a month, and I've brought these to the last few that I've done, and everybody goes crazy for them. They love the colors, and I think it really just goes into the fun, playful nature here. There's a lot of micro-brand watches out there, and I feel like a lot of them take themselves too seriously. Obviously, John and Alan are serious businessmen, but they also know how to have fun with their brand. And I think these are something that you don't really see with how fun they are. Now, without closing out the review quite yet, I do want to touch on a couple of the elements that are going to be changing from these pre-production models to the current production ones. And that's really just the handset. I'll throw up a photo here that shows how the hands are changing, but they're going from these square hands to rounded ones. And then rather than being a shiny stainless color for the hands, they're going to be more of like a matte white. It's just going to give them better contrast on the dials. So yeah, the Markwell Hard Candy Enamels, really simple watches. I think that they're stunning looking, and I might have to buy one for probably my girlfriend because she's been getting into watches, and this is the perfect size for her. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Markwell Hard Candy Enamel series of watches. And check out the description for my previous Markwell review, but also check it out for the written review that'll go up sometime here in the month of May over on primerpeak.com. I'll also link that in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for your time, and if you do decide to get one of these, please drop a comment below because these are so cool and I'd like to see more of them out there. Thank you very much for watching.